Welcome to my World History Notes, where I read from the book that I wrote to teach homeschoolers world history. A Bible Believer Looks at World History. You can find it on lulu.com, amazon.com, or at the Bible Baptist Bookstore. If you follow me here, if you care to, please subscribe to my channel. Now, I'm going to talk today about Russia, Persia, India, and China in the time frame we're in, 1700s. Just briefly and move on. Between 1768 and 1774, Turkey fought a war against Catherine the Great of Russia, declaring war on Russia after Poland appealed to Turkey for help in fighting a Russian invasion. This war was settled by the Treaty of Kuchuk-Kainarji in 1774, which saw both sides surrender territory and make promises to each other that will be hard to monitor. There was a second war against Catherine of Russia between 1787 and 1792, which Russia started and which ended in the Treaty of Jassy, resulting in Russia returning some conquered territory. Persia had a succession struggle after Nadir Shah's death and was split between three rivals until Karim Khan took over the entire country. Upon Karim Khan's death in 1779, there was a civil war precipitated by the eunuch general Aga Muhammad against the Khan's successors. His own reign from 1794 to 1797 was known as a brutal and cruel one. Excuse me. After his assassination in 1797, the new Shah, Fath Ali, was incited by the British to invade Afghanistan, a disaster for both countries. India was being squeezed by four European countries for all they could get, but Portugal's influence was limited to Goa, Diu, and Daman. The Dutch influence was dying out, and only England and France fought for control of India's vast resources. The French version of the British East India Company was the Compagnie des Indes. The British East India Company had power of a sovereign state, including the making of war and peace with any non-Christian nation. It had its own army under English commanders, being manned by regular English army troops and mercenaries. The 1757 Battle of Plassey, in which the clerk turned soldier Robert Clive defeated a superior force of French-led native Indian troops, was a decisive one in their struggle for control, which fell to the British after the Fourth Mysore War ended in 1799. Now, Burma, the Southeast Asian country now known as Myanmar, saw its greatest glory in these years when it defeated a Chinese army which had invaded in 1769 and forced it to surrender. Siam, now Thailand, saw King Rama I found the modern city of Bangkok during his reign from 1782 to 1809. China's Manchu Empire reached its greatest height of power and size under the Emperor Qianlong, also known as Cao Tsung, between 1736 and 1796, tightening control of Central Asia and invading Tibet in 1751, a country which had been under nominal control since 1662. The Dalai Lama was forced to submit to Chinese authority. Between 1755 and 1760, Vietnam invaded Cambodia, but then went through a protracted and long civil war until 1801. Okay, so that brings us up to date there. We're going to go back to colonial America to discuss a few things before we get into science and art of this period of time that we're discussing now. So I hope that this will spur you on to dig into world history, to find some things that interest you, to learn about them, be conversant in world history, have an idea of what was going on generally. This is just a survey. You can get much deeper. And I hope that you'll, whatever opinion you have, at least you're studying it. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing happen. Take care.